I think XRP is about to blow up again, and I'm going to show you why I think that will happen very soon. You guys need to pay attention because there are some really cool things happening in XRP and the crypto world as a whole that I don't think many people are talking about right now. As a result, I think most people will miss them, so I'm going to start by talking about the economy since we just heard some big news about the US debt. In fact, if things keep going the way they are, the US government debt will be over $36 trillion for the first time in history. In all seriousness, the rate at which we're growing is crazy. This image makes it very clear that we're not going in a way that will last. So I really wanted to draw attention to what will happen if we start taking care of the public debt properly. The best times for America were when the US government was lowering its debt, or when the debt stayed about the same while the economy grew. I mean, sometimes we're really doing well, like in the 1940s, the 1960s, or even the years before the 1970s. That made it possible for almost everyone to buy a house and live a very good life. I believe that we will soon be in a similar situation where the US debt is being handled well. We don't yet know if the new administration will be able to do this, but this is an idea I have based on the fact that successful businessman Elon Musk will be involved in US politics and government and will help a lot with this. Not only that, but I also want to say that MicroStrategy has been very unstable. As of today, November 27th, it's 35% lower than its high point on November 21st. We can see that $30 billion was taken off the market value in just 4 trade days. In spite of this, even though MicroStrategy is losing this much money on their stock, something else really cool is happening. It's good to be Bitcoin. That's why I also like this. If someone can buy Bitcoin instead of stocks, I don't think they should. It's becoming more and more popular for people to buy Bitcoin themselves instead of putting their money into a stock or ETF that gets Bitcoin for them. This shows once more that people are becoming aware of the fact that they need to actually own these types of assets. Yes, ETFs are fine. It lets people choose from more things. In the future, it will also let businesses buy Bitcoin and other coins. That's great, but it's clear that's not what crypto is meant to be. So I think that people are finally waking up to the truth and acting in the right way, which makes me very happy. Talking about all of that, we also want to talk about what Michael Saylor is doing. This gives us a good idea of how optimistic people are about the market right now. We can see that Michael Saylor has bought 12 billion Bitcoins since he said he would buy 42 billion Bitcoins over 3 years. That's 2 billion more than the whole goal for 2025 in just 1 month. He might be able to buy another $30 billion worth of Bitcoin this year, which would mean he could break the 3-year plan in just 3 months. There's no doubt that he's buying a lot more Bitcoin than we thought. Now, why does this happen? There may be more than one reason for this. The first is that he's getting a lot of cash. Many times more money is available in the markets than we thought. This makes it possible for Michael Saylor to buy a huge amount of Bitcoin. Other cryptocurrencies will also gain from this. All other coins will have bigger cycles when Bitcoin cycles get bigger, and so on. If trillions of dollars pour into Bitcoin, I think even more trillions will pour into XRP and other cryptocurrencies. In fact, I'm so sure that XRP will reach an all-time high that I'm ready to bet on it, which I hereby do. Even though the price is low now after all those huge pumps, I buy XRP every single day. I'm still dollar cost averaging every single day, even though we keep testing the $1.50 level. A guess of mine says that XRP will be worth about $10 per coin in 4 to 5 months. I said that buying XRP at 48 cents and 50 cents was a great idea. Today I'm telling you that I also think buying XRP at $1.50 is a great idea. As we can see, this is made possible by the fact that there is a lot of money in the markets. Michael Saylor is buying a crazy amount of Bitcoin, and with the ETFs that are on the way, there will be even more for XRP. Also, we can see that Ripple is going to put money into Bitwise's actual XRP ETP. Now, ETPs and ETFs are not the same. There is more liquidity for ETFs because of how they are set up, and they are also usually better than ETPs. However, Ripple fully supports all traditional financial instruments being made for XRP, whether they are ETPs or ETFs, and I think it's amazing that we already have ETPs. Bitwise takes care of a lot of money. XRP ETFs will also be made by BlackRock and other big companies like Grayscale. And I think that when that happens next year, things will really get going. That is something you should really be ready for. I also think this shows it very well. This is already being done very well by some people. Here's a short clip from Korean Blockchain Week. Here in this clip, Brad Garlinghouse is the one talking. He also says some really cool things about what will happen with XRP in the future and how they've done in the past. Please pay attention, as what he's saying is pretty cool. Putting out 20% of all USDC. So we thought, look, it makes sense. It was a big deal when the US dollar stopped being tied to the yen in the spring of last year, minus 18 months ago. We thought there was a chance for a trustworthy company that already works with a lot of banks to get into that market. We're almost ready to start that. One last thing I want to say is that Ripple has always been a compliance-first company. This is because we've always been in the payments game. We've always been we need to work with officials. We need to make sure we have the right licenses, and we think there's room for another player in the stablecoin market. Several things make this important, so I have to say it. I had no idea that Ripple was minting 20% of all USDC at one point. Though that number is completely crazy, it really does show how much power Ripple has in the stablecoin space. And I think it will be huge if they have their own stablecoin, which they are going to back 100%. The amount of possible price movement we'll see because of that is something that can't be stressed enough. I think this could make it possible for trillions of dollars to flow straight onto the XRP ledger over time. I think that Ripple and XRP will get hundreds of billions of dollars from the XRP stablecoin, just like Ethereum did with the USDT stablecoin. Yes, stablecoins are very popular. During bear markets, when a lot of people sell their crypto, they become even more popular. That is why this will make the Ripple in it and the whole XRP system a lot safer. If you think about it, people will probably sell some of their XRP at some point during a bear market and buy Ripple USD. But everything will be done on the XRP ledger and will directly help the XRP ledger, not to mention all the banks that will be using the Ripple stablecoin to make deals which will use XRP as the gas fee, so it will just make XRP a lot more secure and easy to trade. At the same time, I think that once this goes live, it will help XRP's price stay more stable. But because there's going to be such a supply shock for XRP, there's no telling what it will do if there's just a decent amount of XRP volume going on at the same time. Without a doubt, I think it will help the ecosystem grow. I'd also like to play a clip from a recent interview with David Schwartz where he talks about the biggest banks and how they would help keep control of the financial system. In this clip, he also talks about how Ripple fits into this whole idea. This is also pretty cool, so I want you to listen to David Schwartz. I think there are forces that really want to press pause. One thing I learned working with banks at Ripple is that the very big banks are the ones that everyone thinks are taking advantage of the system and have it all set up to benefit them. Yes, but there are 5 big banks. Then there are 2,000, which are banks like your local neighborhood bank that feel the same way you do about big banks. Do you get what I mean? Because they have to use a banking system that is set up to help the biggest companies. Though, if you're not one of those few, they're not thrilled with the way things stand either. It makes sense that they would want to be higher up in the business chain. That's something you can use to your advantage. You'll be surprised at who will help you. In other words, he's saying that these small banks are on our side. I also make something very important. I want to make sure you all get this. All of these small banks will have to respond if they work together with Ripple and use this technology to improve their services. If they become so competitive with the big banks that they serve customers better and more people start to move their money to these small banks, the big banks will have to do something. So guys, this whole thing made me think great words from David Schwartz that if you guys aren't helping small banks that back Ripple right now, you're not helping XRP. Think about giving your money to smaller banks instead of big ones. If you have money in a big bank, they will be the ones who really move us forward. And I believe that if enough of us in North America act now, we'll have an effect that is big enough to make them act. Yes, once these big banks start using Ripple services, the XRPL and other things like that, we can talk about moving our money back there if it makes sense. Also, to be honest, I think the small banks just care more about their people. That's why I agree with it.